Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ginge and Pedro show. I'm, of course, your host, Mr. Ginge Gingerton. Alongside me is nobody yet, but Pedro should be popping in here shortly. And if not, maybe old friend, the man underneath the hat, Pops Van Zant himself, will pop in for a spell and help me keep this ship afloat here. But quick little housekeeping. We do just want to throw out there Tropical Magics is funding on fundmycomic.com. So definitely we'll have the link in the chat for that. But all right. So without further ado, guys, we'll bring him out. He's the J Dog, the Chrome Dog Millionaire. That was another one I couldn't pass up. It's sweet to have him, Mr. Justin K. Sweet. Hello.
What's up?
What's up, man?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for humoring me with my shenanigans.
Yeah, it's fun. Shenanigans are what, it's what people come out for. So I'm here for it.
I got shenanigans all day. No, but okay, buddy. So seriously though, thanks for joining me. And hopefully Pedro will pop in, but if not, it's all good. So yeah, we'll just dive in. I know you've done a million shows at this point. And we keep it pretty loose here, but it's, sort of a standard shill format. But what we do kind of like to do is learn a little bit about your creative journey. It's just interesting, So for you, you're a writer. You're also picking up as an artist. Had you always wanted to do both, or had you always wanted to be a writer? Or?
So, okay, that's a good question. So I've always kind of fancied myself a bit of an artist, creative person as a kid. It's kind of in the blood. My mom was a graphic artist, and then I've also found out, I've got other. I found out recently through ancestry that I've got, some other relatives that were very artistically inclined, but just imagination. As a kid, I definitely felt like I connected with Calvin and Hobbes. I was right there with Calvin. And then later on, when I got old enough, I was reading Creed, like the early days of Creed. And to those who, I don't really, for whatever reason, like I liked the early Creed because of the art style. And now that things seem to have changed a little bit, I'm not like, I don't know. I just kind of lost me, but I dabbled, I doodled through, elementary school and high school instead of actually doing, math homework.
That was me as well.
Yeah, like I would get done with I'd get done with my math test, and I would always because I would get done and I would wait for everybody else, and so I'd just flip it over and start doodling on the back. I mean, I was one of those kind of people, but I guess as life, happens, and I grow up and I move away because I joined the army and lived that life and everything.
Very nice.
When I was done with my military service, I started college, and I thought when I started college that I wanted to, because I was always interested in high school in physics. And I thought that that's what I was going to do, was just to get into physics and become a physicist. And once I got in there, I realized, oh boy, there's a whole lot of math, and I don't really like math. I mean, I'm competent at it, and I can do computations and run and work out formulas and everything else, but it just wasn't my thing. And it was my first English comp class. And we had an assignment. Well, first off, we had an adjunct professor who was actually, he had a master's degree, and he was just kind of filling in. He was a journalist by trade, actually lived in China, but he was in the States and was a visiting professor for us. Hey, Pedro.
Hey, sorry I'm late, guys.
No worries, sweat, brother.
It's time savings. This is gonna be a sticky show because I just came from the gym and I'm
sweaty.
Yes. Yeah,
I can see it. You're glistening, buddy.
Yeah,
well, I'm all
Aura.
but I'm super clean. I
Yeah,
I'm so clean. I'm dry.
yeah. Be clean for both of us.
Dried out.
I'm
Yeah.
stinking out the place.
But so yeah, I made it through that comp course and was given we were all given an assignment to write up an essay about an important event that happened in our life. And so I was given this assignment about, or and I thought about it, and I'm like, okay, well, the first thing that came to mind was, this thing that happened when I was 7 years old with my mother. She got a DUI with me in the car, and that would forever change the trajectory of my life. Um, and so I wrote about everything that I remembered, even at 7 years old. And the way that I wrote it, like to me, it's like I wrote it and I handed it in. And this adjunct kind of like he pulls me aside and he says, when he grades it or whatever, and before he hands it back to me, he's like, I want to talk to you for a minute. I'm like, uh-oh. Of course, when you're in college, it's not the same as high school.
Right.
It's not like I'm in trouble or anything.
Yeah.
But he pulls me aside and he says, all these other these people in here, I gave them this assignment and they wrote this story in such a way that it's like, I did this and I this and this and this. And he says, I just have a question for you on this story. He says, is this little boy, is this you? And I said, yeah. And he says, well, like, what made you write this in third person? Because that's how I wrote the short. It was a short story, but I mean, it was in a, condensed format for this essay. And I said, I didn't really think of it, think about it. And he says, well, it sounds to me like if that was such a, an event in your life and it was so horrific for you as a child, it kind of seems natural that you would distance yourself from it to write it in third person. And he says, you may have something here as far as like something, you may have a knack for this. And as soon as he said that, like it kind of got my wheels turning in my brain, and I thought, I'm not really sure about this whole physics thing, and so I just kind of, at that point, I kind of started changing my classes and my degree towards getting a bachelor's of English, and so then we were kind of off to the races as far as writing. I mean, I wrote in high school. I mean, I was on the newspaper staff. For our high school newspaper. So, I mean, it's something that always seemed to come natural to me, but the creative writing aspect of it was, I mean, shoot, I used to, play and run tabletop role-playing games and still, still do. And so to me, it's just, that's just one of the things I like to write. And now
I know I'm late, but you said DUI story and I lost my innocence with a DUI story.
With a DUI story. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. You lost your innocence.
Yeah, I was like 12 and I saw my dad bribe a cop.
Damn.
And that kind of marked me. I was like, wow, that's how the world goes. Okay.
Well, this was one of those cases where my mom, she was a graphic artist. And was trying to hold down like 2 or 3 jobs. She was working as a typeset engraver at one place, and then she had a second job where she'd go and silk screen, T-shirts. And so she was doing all this stuff, and she finally gets to where she could. She was, going to start her own business, a printing shop, and. And all of that, like the paperwork and everything was being signed and whatever. And like, she had her foot in the door. And so she decided, hey, I'm going to take my son and I to go out and celebrate. Well,
nice.
Little did I know that she was, she had been an alcoholic, and I never really knew that. It didn't really click with me until after she passed away 20 years ago. So, but, so once we go out to eat, and she has 3 Long Island iced teas, which I don't know if anyone knows what that is, but that'll do it. 3 different types of alcohol,
like
in heavy measure.
Rum,
triple sec.
Triple sec.
Yeah, triple sec. Yeah, it's
and
it's delicious. Yeah, I'm sure, but yeah, no. No,
Nah.
you shouldn't. You should, with her, she shouldn't have even driven after 2 or
Yeah, exactly.
even 1, really.
Mm-hmm.
But so she, that's what she does. She gets in the car and we're off down the road. And what can I do? I'm 6 going on 7 years old. I
Wow.
can't stop my mother from.
Yeah, exactly.
But the
And
crazy.
the thing is, like, at that age, you don't even register that. It's like, hey, it's my parents' is happy juice. I mean, that's what I thought. Like, everybody's laughing while having that. It tastes horrible,
Well,
but everybody's
so
happy.
I can, without going into too many details.
Yeah.
I can say that as a child, I understood when people were
Mm.
under the influence of something, whether
Yeah.
alcohol or pot or anything, because I was around that stuff, and a child shouldn't be around it, but I was.
Mm. Yeah.
But anyway, the long and
Uh,
short, is that kind of like inspired me to become a writer and to actually just hone that craft. So.
mhm. It's without sort of unpacking any more painful memories. I mean, it is a really powerful and makes sense artistically as an origin story. You know what I mean? I could definitely, as you were telling that story, I was just sort of seeing that through my own eyes. It would be, very powerful, especially at a young age. But I do want to mention sort of one funny thing where you and I were similar as kids, but sort of opposite too, I guess. You said you would finish your math work and then turn it over. So for me, I used to draw a lot as a kid in elementary school. And then I think like the summer between 4th and 5th grade, I just didn't draw that summer. And then we get back in school and it's first day and the teacher gives us our first assignment. And the first thing I do is just flip the page right over and go to try to draw something just, for whatever. But I basically just drew like one line and hated it. And told myself at that point, I said something along the lines of I lost it. I lost it. And
Really?
and I actually never took another art class ever. Like
Wow.
I stopped drawing until like 19 because of that sort of, very strange,
Can you
just
guys
being
hear that?
the
Yeah,
chicken.
that's fine. I like
So,
chickens. Chickens
No,
are cool.
no, it's just that they're really horny. So, it's just, yeah.
Hey,
Can you name your chickens,
this,
buddy?
it's all.
No,
It's,
because they weed them. So,
this
it's
is,
not a good idea.
I mean, we come to expect it from you, Pedro. It's all good.
Yeah, no, just no. The thing is that we have 2 new roosters, and they're all the chickens
The hens.
are are looking after that pipe, So that's,
It's got to be loud. The sound of chickens fucking. I've never actually heard it.
you're actually witnessing it right now. That's how it sounds.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
gonna play some funk
Okay.
for them later. Sorry for derailing the interview.
No,
Please continue.
no
No,
derailing.
we haven't sort of gotten pornographic on this show in several weeks, buddy. So
Yeah.
we were due for that. All
That
right.
interspecies erotica
Great.
that everybody loves.
Say hello to First World Comic here.
Hey,
This is Doc, I believe.
The only world I like.
the
Hey,
first world.
Yeah,
sorry for those third world schmucks out there.
Schmuck, yeah, exactly. Just nah.
Come back into the first world. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
We're
Not
trying.
so third porn.
We're trying, man. It's a long walk.
So let's get this bitch back on the path here. So Justin, let's sort of fast forward to
Sure.
your entry into CG or indie comics in general.
Yeah.
And also we'll get into Chrome Dog, of course. But tell us about it.
Well, so to kind of keep it somewhat brief, I've only been in this space for about a year, and before I came to this space, I was in a design space where it was related to a role playing game called Genesis. It's a narrative dice system for Star Wars that's been turned into a generic role playing game. And the long and short is, in that design space, I was learning how the rules worked and everything to be able to write and also help people edit content that they were putting up for sale on Drive Through RPG. And so I kind of, was very active in that community. But like so many other communities in my life, I always felt like I didn't actually belong. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of weird. I've always felt like a bit of an outsider, no matter where I was. Even when I was in the army, I always felt like I didn't fit in because I didn't have these crazy locker room stories, or you know what I mean, or I didn't have the capacity to even BS my way through one,
Mm,
like
right.
some of the guys that I was in there with. And so I never really felt like I belonged. And same with, card game. I love card games. I'm not good at them. I
Mhm.
love MMORPGs on a computer. I'm not good at them. And I can't devote that much time and attention to play something for so long like everybody
Mhm.
else around me. And I see them get all the fat loots or the really good cards, or, whatever the game is, and this and that.
Right.
And so, in that design space, I still felt like I didn't quite belong because I don't know. It's just I just didn't. And so when for a while I had been listening to Eric July, because I was kind of coming out of, and this is another part of it, kind of like coming out of being a Republican, as it were, card carrying Republican years ago. And he had a video that kind of stopped me in my tracks about Malcolm X, and it kind of got me thinking. I'm like, here's a black guy talking about Malcolm X in a way that I hadn't heard. And as I was, and I just had to listen to more of his stuff. And he was of course, his other passion is comic books. So he was very, very keen on libertarianism. And so I got a heavy dose of that. I was listening to podcasts in that vein and everything else, and with the comic books.
Mhm.
And then he brings up Ethan Van Sciver, and so I'm like, who's that? And so I look him up,
Right.
and then just as soon as as soon as I started watching Comics Gate Kings and kind of getting a lay of the land, I'm like, wow, okay, I found my people. Like, for the first time in my life, I've actually found people that I can, like, 100% lockstep just be like. And from what I can tell, everybody um you know is pretty down to earth. And as long as, like, because I can pretty much smell some BS when somebody's like BSing, right?
Mm.
But all of the ones that are truly here to, you can tell the people that have each other's back. We're all like cheering each other on and this and that. And I felt like, I just felt like I had a place. And then I was also inspired to go ahead and make a go of my own stories and my own characters. And so
Mhm.
I just, put pen to paper
Absolutely.
and got with Luke Stone, my artist, for a couple of character designs, and the rest is history.
Hey, hey. All right. I love it. Yeah, absolutely. And so I sort of kind of relate too with like trying to find a community to fit into and sort of still feeling like an outsider. To some degree, I was like, this was years ago, probably 2016 or 17, when like Facebook groups, like really when things started like randomly getting political. And I wasn't really tuned in to it just then, but
Right.
I noticed like the groups that I was in like some PlayStation, PS4 fan group, it was like just all of a sudden like getting attacked for just like basic beliefs or like a podcast that I was a big fan of, like that Facebook group quickly got taken over by like basically SJW Karen mods. Facebook mods are among some of the most
Hmm.
sort of saddest creatures out there. And they do good work, but they definitely
No,
take it out on everybody. But I'm joking there. They're
I don't know. Like I guess I'm too old for that because I mean, when I started diving into this like indie world, I
Mhm.
come from a like I mean, it's still creative, but it was more corporate because it was like ad agencies and whatnot. And
Mhm.
even there, you see that germ of SJWism or whatnot, and that's why I left it behind. But when I started looking like Ginge did and like you did, like, and you see creepy stuff, just like, nah, man, I just did a Danny Glover. Like, I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah.
But that stopped with Comicsgate. Like, my gateway into Comicsgate was Dan Frega. Because I mean, I'm a big fan of his. And then he did that whole like manifesto on Twitter or Instagram. I don't know, one of the two. you know what? I am comics kid. I was like, what's comics kid? and, and from then on, it's history. Then I met this ginger angel over here,
Ginger
and
Angel.
yeah,
Thanks, man.
and dude, like it's been like it's the most creative I've been ever, and I have nobody but this community to thank for that. And yeah, man, this is the place to be. Like it.
Yeah. Yes, I definitely agree. It's for me, sort of getting into indie comics was. I actually said this a few times now, and I actually really believe it. I think it was one of the greatest decisions I've ever made for myself. It was something I always wanted to do, was be a writer and specifically write comic books. And I tried at one time when I was 19, and it sort of was like me and a friend, but it ended up me doing most of the work. And sort of a fast forward, almost 10 years later when I tried again, and I'm still friends with that guy. He's my best friend. Um, but I was like, hey, bro, you remember that comic book? This is like, I think when COVID happened and basically everybody got, stuck home. We played
Right.
Call of Duty a lot. And I was like,
Yeah.
hey, remember that comic book? But it basically came to the same idea with me just, again, having to do all the work. So I was like, basically, fuck them. This is something I'm just going to have to do. And yeah, I mean, it was an incredible decision. So.
Well, that's kind of sort of it, and I don't want to I don't want it to sound that way, but I'm kind of there right now, and it's not has nothing to do with Chrome Dog. It has everything to do with this world that I'm building, and I have all these other characters that have stories that I want to tell with there, but I don't want to, it's Chrome Dog is taking long enough, right? So I feel like I can do something parallel to that. Learn the craft, right, of first I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to learn layouts. I want to learn how to figure out shots and all the different panels and how many panels on the page. I want to learn that, because that way, if I learn that and I can get that down and it's something that will actually work, I can just say, hey, Luke, here's the breakdowns, go to town, and then I'll move on to to this or that. But the other thing is, if I can dial in my own art style or my own way of telling stories on the page, I really love black and white anyway. And so it's like, I just want to tell the stories. And so, I have characters that are way more gritty than Chrome Dog is. And so, it's going to be a really strange balance to have a world that's more than just, neon and, chrome.
Yeah.
All right.
So, at some point, we'll have to go Bill O'Reilly and just fuck it, we're doing it live.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I am. I was just like,
exactly.
but yeah.
All right.
It's
Well,
awesome,
and also a great segue right straight into the.
Do it live.
Yeah, man, let's do it. We are doing it live, actually. All right. So tell us about Chrome Dog, bro. I mean, what's take it from the top, if you will. Where did the idea come from, and all that.
Okay. So I'd like to. So the idea came, and again, I have to keep this brief. That's the thing. I have a tendency to go like meander and this and that, right?
Oh, you're good. By all means, buddy.
But so where he came from was I guess the very origin in my mind was, I was out walking my dog one night, and I'd been thinking about this other character, and I'd been working out different like the origin story of this other character who will show up eventually. I'm just not, I'm not ready to reveal him, but as I'm kind of walking the dog, and I look down at the dog, and I'm thinking, what if there's like this metal dog, and then I'm thinking, what would he be called? And I remember one of the early things I thought, because you were talking about puns earlier, I was thinking about a dog that was part plant, right? And so his name would be Bark, right? Because he's a tree dog.
Right. Okay.
Because I was thinking of Poison Ivy, and I was just, I don't know, my brain does weird things like that. But as I'm looking at the dog, and I'm thinking, I'm like, well, what if there's this big metal dog, who and I just, the name Chrome Dog just kind of was bouncing around in the back of my head. I hadn't really had any real thoughts beyond, because I was thinking it'd be a dog on 4 legs and, maybe transform or something. I don't know. It was something weird. But later on, I'm sitting down and I'm writing this script for this other character. And as I'm writing the script, I have a tendency to kind of, I'm very, what's the word? Stream of consciousness. And so as the scene develops in my head, I'm like going with it. So I blame it on all of the improvisation that I did sitting at a table, running, role playing games. Right.
Right.
And so,
Yeah.
so here I am. It's like, it's developing in my brain and I'm writing it down, panel, panel page, and all that. And I get to this place where, there's like this opening scene. We've got this character. He's looking down into a warehouse. He's like on the roof and he's looking down into this warehouse through a skylight. And there's 3 guys down below, and they've got a map and they've got guns and things, and they're planning this heist, right? But this one character is late, and that's the setup. It just came to me. And so this one person who's late winds up being this Chrome Dog guy, right? And I don't even know, like, I just know the name is in my head. And so as I start like imagining later on, I'm imagining him, him finally catching up with them. They're riding to the spot in a van. They drop him off in the car garage, and he gets out, and I'm imagining pretty similar to what we're seeing here. This big giant metal mutt who has these he's able, from his own point of view, he can at this point in the story, okay, we're not really going to be showing like in this book, for example, like I'm not we're not going to visit all of his power set yet. He has certain limitations on him right now, but the way I'm imagining him at this other place in time in what I'm writing, he's sitting here with from his point of view, he's got like hollow screen in front of him, kind of like Johnny Mnemonic, if you're familiar with the movie. Where he doesn't have to wear glasses or anything. It's just part of he's interacting with the stuff in space in front of him, and he's hacking. He's basically helping hack into this. Basically, if you've seen Mission Impossible, the original Mission Impossible, he's like the Emilio Estevez character, right? So he's the guy who's kind of like getting them access, and so he's remotely here and there, but he's also a heavy, so he's kind of like providing some security in as far as if things go sideways, he can if he needs to, he can wreck a truck or something, like he can take them on. And so while he's doing that, this main character that I'm writing this script is like coming up and he's harassing him, and he's like, get out of my face with that mess. And he's harassing him because he's like, look, why are you doing all this crime? You should be working for us, for the good guys and this and that. And he says, you need to tell your boss, he needs to come off the money. He's like, he's not paying enough for me to go to work for him. And so he just won't leave him alone. And so he starts doing all kind of like jujitsu on him while he's over here doing his hacking thing. And he just like takes him and like chucks him across the parking garage, and like, and that character like smashes through the there's like concrete there at the edge, and then down into a dumpster, right? Like that whole thing just takes place in that moment. And I'm thinking at that moment, I'm like, I don't really care about the guy in the dumpster. I want to know who this Chrome Dog guy is, and like where he came from and what is going on with him. Like, what's his deal? And so he became way more interesting to me in that moment. And
sometimes that happens,
yeah. And so I that's kind of where we're at, where we're at in this book, for sure. So we may not actually get that scene that I just laid out for another few issues, because he's got some, no pun intended, he's got some issues to deal with in this particular first offering.
I do like the character design and the tone that you're setting with the coloring. Who's doing your coloring?
So this cover was colored by Edgar Tavitas. Also, I think I'm saying it right. Um,
That
he
sounds Brazilian.
it's well, he lives in Mexico, but
Okay.
it's Tavitas. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it, but
I'll read
he,
it from that point.
right. He's the colorist for Rift Riders.
Okay.
I know that. But as far as the internals or the interiors, those are
Hmm.
colored by Patrick Gamma, who is Brazilian, as far as I know,
Okay. Okay.
and that's Luke's colorist for hybrids.
Colors. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
But
that guy's solid. I've seen his work in hybrids.
oh yeah.
Really good colors. Yeah, dude,
Well,
but
it's
the thing is like, yeah, the material, the chrome material allows itself for the character to reflect the environment.
Right.
So wherever you put him, it's gonna look cool. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's a nightmare for the colorist, but still, like, awesome design, man. Like it.
Mhm.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, I can only take some credit for it. I mean, Luke,
Mm.
basically, when Luke and I sit down to create a character, we just kind of vibe off of each other. And he's like, well, what
Mhm.
about this? How does this look? And this or that. And I'm like, we'll go with
Yeah,
it. And then next thing you know, here we are.
and
Well,
Yeah.
that's the glory of a great writer that
mm,
allows the
well,
the
that's,
artist to put a little bit of himself into it. Because I mean, artists want to draw the things they like, you know. So when a guy's like, "No, this is not what I want," we artists go like, "Okay, I'll give you what you want." So,
well, I'm all about, is it fun?
yeah,
Is
exactly,
it going to look cool? Let's
exactly.
do
Yeah,
it.
let's
Right.
do it. Yeah, yeah. But the moment they go like micromanaging, like
Hmm.
that tassel of hair is like there. Let's put it there. Let's do it.
Well, I'm not without my own micromanaging, okay, but
Yeah.
not when it comes to design.
Mhm.
It's just comes with color, and that,
Yeah.
because, and as we when we get to looking at the first few pages, like you're gonna see why that's a thing.
Whoa,
Um,
whoa, 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 whoa! You have
no,
an
it's fine.
Halo
You
cover?
can, yeah, yeah, Aaron Lepresti, yeah, he's
Oh man,
he yeah.
look at
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I asked him, and of course, it doesn't have to get too chrome on the bow of that ship, because it's
Mm-hmm,
that it's a ferry, and
Mhm.
it's kind of in the middle of the night,
mm-hmm.
major major storm happening and all that
Yeah,
jazz. But
there's nothing much to reflect from.
right,
So,
right.
no,
But
dude, but
Yeah.
this is so
yeah,
dynamic. Really
Mhm.
cool.
no,
I'm just lost in the sauce over here. This is beautiful.
Hmm. No,
yeah,
Great shapes.
I mean, it's Halo, Mr. Lopez.
Mr. Lopez.
Huh.
Hurrah!
Love it.
Don't tell them.
We don't go like that, Ginge.
No. What do you
No,
guys
we
have a
don't.
noise? Do Panamanians have a
No, we don't. No, I have
battle
never seen
cry?
anybody go "Arr!" in happiness. No, we don't do that.
There's
Uh,
No.
there's nothing like "Oucha,"
no,
or anything like
like
that. Okay.
actually, there's something called Salomar, but dude, it's really loud and
Oh.
it annoys everybody. But if we hear somebody getting, "Arr!" he'll get shot. I'm like, what's he doing? He's like, no, put him out of his
All right.
misery. We lost them.
That's funny.
Yeah,
The jungle's got him now.
yeah,
Oh, boy.
yeah. He got jungle fever. Not that kind of
All right.
jungle fever. Okay,
So
I went
let's
somewhere else.
let's sort of so kind of fast forwarding to the initial creation of the character.
Yeah.
Or past that to the point where you were like, okay, now we're gonna go with Chrome Dog. Did you sort of at that point, was the gears like fully shifted, and you went deeper into this character's backstory and started shifting the world fully around him? Or?
No. No, the
No?
world is what it is. I will say there is one I guess, to be fair, yeah, I guess I did have to alter the world around him.
Mm.
So in order to make him a superhero, I had to limit the technology level around him.
Mm.
Because originally it was going to be, I don't know if you're familiar with Inglorious Rex, but the
Yes,
technology
sir.
level was going to be very, futuristic and this and that. But as I was kind of pondering on it, I was also, I'm also lamenting the time when, when we had, 2400 2400 baud modems and stuff, and cell phones weren't everywhere, and we still had pay phones, and people had to grub for quarters to be able to use them, and or whatever, right? Like I miss the days where if somebody needs to get a hold of me, they're just gonna have to wait for me to get home, and I'll check my I could check my answering machine or whatever, right?
Hey, Justin, do you remember pagers?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Don't you find I found those annoying? Like, oh my god, I have to make a call. Like,
well, at the time, but you gotta understand that was, those were proto cell phones, man. That was the first cellular service thing you could do and you could have. It was the first wireless thing outside of bag phones and for rich people's cars.
Yeah, but if you have a doctor, if you're a doctor, maybe, but if you have like an empanada business, like who's gonna be paging you?
Well, drug dealers. I think that was the big deal. I had a pager, but it was when I first joined the army. Back then, the cell phones hadn't. That they still were a ways off, a few years off from becoming ubiquitous, and so
they have like the Saved by the Bell brick thing.
Well, and they were expensive too, right? And so pagers were relatively cheap. I had a landline in the barracks, and we had payphones all over posts. So it was nothing.
Remember those times.
So if somebody needed to get a hold of me, it's like, hey, you can page me. I don't know. It was the cool thing to do back then. Now it's like all the cool kids text each other, or they.
Dude, it was the greatest time to have a girlfriend.
Instagram.
Why didn't you call me? There were no phones around, baby. Sorry.
Exactly. But yeah, so I guess in that way I did kind of have to kind of rejigger the world around Chrome Dog to make him fit, but only that that little bit. Everything else, like I love Batman the animated series.
Awesome.
Growing up I loved the Batman comic books, but I really like that really got me into the world that is Gotham. And so, the all of the intrigue having to do with the different mob bosses at each other's throats at any given time, with Batman and Robin, and even Catwoman like caught in the middle sometimes. Like all of those little things, and like the Joker, he has his part to play, and all those little things. Like for example, was it the Mask of the Phantasm? Like me just talking about it, I want to watch it again because that.
Dude.
Like that stuff, like I'm there, and I want to have that kind of world be what Chrome Dog has to kind of navigate as well.
The things like that time was so counterintuitive because we were coming out of a hangover, basically, of the Toyland animated series. So the 90s was described as like, okay, this is an animated series, but it's not linked to toys. Like the toys are secondary, as opposed to He-Man, Transformers, like Thundercats. All that was like a Toyland that needed a show. This is a show that will eventually develop a Toyland. So the stories were better. And the thing is, like, like you have Batman the animated series. You remember Cops? I don't know if you see.
Oh yeah. The TV show?
Cops. Dude, that show, the character design was amazing.
Wait, hold on. What did you say? I thought you said Cops. Like
Cops.
Bad
the animated.
Boys?
No. That's the Cops like today in Chicago.
You mean Pedro? Or?
No. Cops. Okay, I have to look. Do I have to look for this trailer?
Nobody.
Yeah. Okay, but we're on Chrome Dog right now. But by the end of the show, I'm going to show you Cops. If you haven't seen this show, dude. It's awesome. The character design it's going to blow your mind. But let's keep talking about Chrome Dog because that's why we're here.
Yeah,
I'll say this too. There's like certainly no shame in being inspired by Paul Dini and Bruce Timm. Like the combination of those two guys, built an incredible catalog of mostly animated stuff, but they also did do a lot of comic books as well. So I mean, really.
And I'll say this too. Like I don't ever want to see Chrome Dog as a TV show unless it's animated. You know what I mean? Like I don't believe in live action. I think because to me, every time they go make that leap from the pages to the screen, the big screen even, and they skip the animation because to me it feels like it's a whole lot easier to tell the story from the pages to the animation. Plus, you've got people that are actually fully invested in it. Because animation, I mean, I know I'm on here with an animator who's
Hooray.
very. I mean, you're passionate about what it is that you're the source material. Like it matters to you. You don't want to go in there and just completely just rework it out and be like,
also,
no, I'm going to make it my own.
Yeah, like capturing the element of whimsy. It's really easier going from comic book to animation, and that's what it's lost. Like for example, like the X-Men, they were embarrassed of the costumes, and that's we have like the original X-Men movies,
right?
Because like what's the singer?
The line, what would you prefer? Yellow spandex, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It was just like, dude, like they found the comic books corny. If you find the stories corny, why are you making the movie?
Exactly.
Stupid ass.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, and Wolverine has yet to have a mask, so
yeah.
Right.
Like Batman gets masks. He gets one that's so ridiculous that George Clooney goes to shake his head and it wobbles side to side.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, come on, man.
Yeah, dude.
We have bat nipples, but no Logan in a mask.
Joel Schumacher, rest his soul.
Oh, dude.
I actually like those movies. I mean, say what you will about them.
Yeah, no, I've learned to appreciate them, especially from the drivel that's been coming out lately. So
yeah, dude. The things like Joel Schumacher, the director from Batman, like he was like a rave dancing,
very homosexual.
Well, but but I remember, but beyond that part, okay. I remember them talking about all of the neon that they used and all the colors. They wanted to bring the colors from the 4-color comics from like in the 60s and stuff, and so they kind of that was part of their what they were thinking of in there. So I mean, I liked Batman Forever way better than
Batman Fever,
Batman and Robin.
Oh, Batman and Robin. In Batman and Robin, you get the badass shot, and he goes like, and then he turns. And like,
I don't want to see that.
The bad badass.
No,
like,
what I'm saying is Batman Forever. That's the one. Yeah. Like I like that one because it's got Jim Carrey. Even though he was playing more of a Joker version of the Riddler, like he was way too wacky. I mean, I know the guy from the 60s. TV show was pretty wacky. But I don't think it was that wacky.
It was like Romero was the actor, right?
Cesar Romero.
Romero.
Well, no, that was Joker. That was Joker. Yeah. I'm talking about the guy who played
the Riddler. Oh, yeah.
The old Riddler was kind of wacky, but he wasn't Jim Carrey wacky.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
Jim Carrey was being Jim Carrey. That's the thing.
Well, yeah. But I've grown to enjoy those. The only problem I had with Batman Forever was Batman never smiles, and when you see smile, like we're talking like full on grin, and when you see Val Kilmer turn around when he's leaving, Nicole Kidman's character, I can't remember her name, Doctor or something.
Vicky Vale was it? I think
no, Vicky Vale was Kim Basinger.
Yeah, and that was in the first Batman. I can't remember her name. Anyway, he leaves her. He leaves her place. Yeah. And he's got this like big shit-eating grin on his face, and it's like Batman would never you could
never
smirk.
do that. Yeah,
he could smirk, but he couldn't. Right. It's like no.
I don't know, man. I have nothing but love for Val Kilmer, but he was a weird choice for Batman.
Yeah, I agree.
His resting mouth is this.
What?
His resting mouth is like this, though.
Oh well, yeah.
The Batman and teeth.
Well, yeah, but I mean, to be fair, when he's wearing the costume, it does kind of resemble Keaton, at least a little bit.
A little bit,
kind of more than Clooney. Clooney.
Oh yeah, Clooney was like tool time. He will be the tool time guy forever.
Tool time.
Yeah,
I love it.
So let's see. Pops is chiming in here. Keaton is the Batman. So what do you guys think about the new Flash movie with
Cash Grab?
Yeah,
it's not the Flash movie. It's the new Batman movie.
It's Bashman is what it is. Because I mean, they even show him. He's wearing a bat suit, and it's been spray painted to be a Flash costume. So it's like, okay, it's Bashman. Yeah, no, seriously, you need to look it up. They even did it with the toy, and everybody was making fun of it because the toy released first, and everyone's making fun of it because they reused the actual mold. But it's really what happens in the movie. It's like Bat Flash. Yeah. I say Bash Man
The
because
Bash.
you know it just
The
sounds
Bash.
Bash
Yeah,
Man.
it's less appealing, so fuck them. Basically, that's
Yeah.
what they're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have zero interest. Black Adam, had they actually pulled that movie off with some gravity, like it's not grounded in that. I think that's the problem I have with a lot of DC stuff is I don't feel this groundedness. And so to get it back to what I was saying is that Batman the animated series, it is grounded. There is, I mean, it's street level. You like you cannot watch one episode of that show and not feel that that every moment matters, you know.
Yeah.
And I haven't felt that in a DC movie. I mean, maybe a little bit in Wonder Woman, the first one, because you know, and yeah, I think that was like the last one that really kind of like grabbed me and was like, you know, these moments feel like they matter. But
And the first Wonder Woman was good. That was a good movie.
Yeah.
But right now, regarding Marvel and DC, I'm just like a battered spouse.
Yeah.
Never again.
That's it.
I watched Black Adam with my family like I don't know, a couple months
Black
ago.
Adam.
Well, maybe try White Adam. Maybe the two of you will get along a little better.
Adam. Just call him Adam.
Okay, fine. So me and my family watched Adam. I don't know, a couple months ago. My parents, I'm pretty much off of the train. The last thing I'd seen before that was I guess it's not that far removed, but I saw like the first half of the latest Doctor Strange because I'm a big Sam Raimi fan. But I wanted to try Black Adam. I was with my family. We were like, all right, screw it. Here's my thoughts on that movie. If it had, it was largely kind of bad. There was some sort of stuff. I think if it had come out in the 90s, I think it was bad, sort of like how some people call the Spawn movie bad, which I love the Spawn movie.
Yeah,
always
I
have.
don't know. To me, Black Adam should have been narrated by Jim Ross. Maybe then I would have enjoyed that.
Here's the point I'm getting to.
It was The Rock. It was.
So what's your point?
It was a wrestling movie. It was a wrestling match. It wasn't really even. It was not.
It was basically the Rock movie starring The Rock. Yeah. But no, the point I'm getting to is that movie actually was kind of like deeply concerning to me in terms of like the way the love interest plays throughout the movie. I don't know if you guys picked up on this, but to me,
love interest?
Yeah,
really? the chick, right? And I'm sort of looking more. There was like, you know, so all right, setup of the movie. Whatever this girl's doing, her kid, you know, she's a single mom. Her kid happens who other than The Rock, fucking Black Adam, flashes before her kid and is now sort of like, you know, like stepdaddy. So I don't know. I sort of made fun of this chick the whole time throughout the movie, thinking like, you know, sure, like some shit's going crazy around her, but it's like she basically lucked out. And I could sort of see, again, I was making fun of it but by the end of the movie, it was like this chick was trying to become queen of the universe in a way. I don't know if you guys remember at the end, she's like, there's that scene where it's like the very end of the movie, Rock's standing before his rocky throne. And she's like, you could rule them if you wanted. And to me, I thought that was insane because I was like, so what does that mean for you? Right. Because, you know, he's basically, you know, sort of taking over as like dad for your kid. I just found that lady like the entire movie, like seeing like just seeing her path to power. And I did have to tip my hat because I thought he was just going to sit down in the throne. I thought he was going to do it, but instead he destroys it. And I was like, thank you, God, because that just would have been the icing on the shit cake. But I found that lady to be completely insane.
Well, she says, how does it feel? And he goes, wrong, like that, you know, and then goes up and smashes it. But, you know, I like how you said that. You said at the very end, right? Because that movie, it ended 3 times. It's like, okay, great. Okay, you get him, you know, Amanda Waller, you got him at the bottom of the ocean, roll credits. Oh, we don't want to roll credits? Okay, we're in for another rematch, right? It's the ladder, you know. Pick up the ladder and do the thing.
The thing at the bottom of the ocean, he needed to go like the Hulkster, like, and standing up like I'm not down yet. Like, dude, it was a wrestling match.
You know, and I think that to me, I couldn't connect with any characters,
No.
and that's the thing. Maybe, to me, I've never had. I don't think I've ever connected with a character that's a DC property outside of Batman animated series.
Mm.
Period. I tried to read the comics. I collected them. I
No.
looked at them, but when I would read them, I never felt like I never connected with them. But I could connect with Marvel characters, and I
Yeah.
never really understood it until recently. I've been kind of paying attention, and I'm like,
Mm.
okay, that makes sense.
I mean, Green Lantern has his really nice stories there.
That's true.
Hal Jordan is a
Yeah.
very rounded character, like out of DC. Like, one I would enjoy would be Batman and Hal Jordan. Like Hal Jordan's Green Lantern. Guy Gardner is too much of a dick.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I know. And he had that ridiculous Lloyd Christmas haircut forever.
Yeah,
Like, I'm just like, what is with the bowl cut, DC?
Yeah, with the bowl
I mean,
cut,
at least
yeah.
they made him look cooler, especially
mhm.
once he turned into the Red Lantern. But
And
but
the other guy who became like the White Power Lantern, what's
Kyle Rayner,
Kyle Rayner? Yeah, oh my
comic
God.
book artist, sort of. Yeah.
The White Power Lantern.
well, he's a blue. Well, I know more about the character designs because I play a game called DC Dice Masters, and they took all those characters. There's an expansion for it called War of Light. So I really like DC's character designs.
Yeah, they're cool.
But they're cool. But
Mhm.
it's kind of like, okay, well, here, let me play it in a game and then put it down. Like, I don't need to really invest in this person.
Yeah. I do want a White Power ring though. You can get them on eBay.
I want a red one, or
the red.
other colors.
Yeah. I know.
But I know what you're saying. I hear you. Well, and I'm sure they have a Black Power ring too, because they look black. And you got to hold your fist up like this. It's like that.
I've never connected those dots, but I'm afraid I'll never be able to look at the different lanterns the same now. Kind of ruined it.
Yeah.
So let's say hello to the chat.
Let's do
boys,
that.
and then we'll get back into the Chrome Dog here. But Pop says Soups was way overpowered, and Batman had the weakest rogues gallery. Every one of those cats had Batman knocked out and tied up, and not one of them put a slug in his head. LOL.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Batman's always been my favorite character, but the sort of my second most favorite character in all of comics was Spider-Man, and it's probably I grew up reading those, but also the animated series too. Like I'm was born in '92, so I definitely.
I don't know. Like my introduction to comic books was Deadpool, because I started later in life, but it got cheesy really fast. Like I really liked like Joe Kelly's run, which is like 24 issues when we was fighting like T-Ray, and then like they took Joe Kelly out, some other people come in, and then he became a joke, and it's like, okay, let's read some more. And then I went into Heroes for Hire, and from then on, I discovered like everything else. But I don't know, like to me, my guy is the Iron Fist forever. Like the runs they did like in the early 2000s were awesome. Right now, I don't even want to know. I don't want them to ruin it for me. But like Wolverine, Batman, like all like the big hitters, out of all of them, like the rogues galleries of Batman can be a little bit magoo in that sense that nobody like basically shoots him in the head. But the things like I feel like every Batman rogue has something to prove, so they don't want to kill Batman. They want to show Batman that he's wrong. You know what I mean? So there's always like that little innuendo under like. If they were looking for results, like they shoot him in the mouth. Like he has all this armor suit and his mouth is like exposed. Just shoot him in the mouth and it's over, But that's not a good story.
Yeah, no. Bruce had Alfred shelf the sort of bat mouth attachment because things were just getting weird. But let's hop back into Chrome Dog here.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay, great. So. What can you hit us with a pitch for the first issue here, buddy? We've had a great time talking. I feel bad we haven't talked about your
Oh
project.
no, it's fine. I love conversations. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. So with this first issue, I have not revealed a lot. I've revealed there's the first 10 pages are available here on the campaign. But what happens at page 11 is the story starts to really kind of take shape, and then it's just kind of goes on from there. I'm introducing several new characters in this book. Of course, they're all going to be new, but the title of the book is called Perfect Strangers, and that's it's pretty indicative of all the different people that we get to encounter throughout the book. But the elevator pitch is you've got a guy who he goes to sleep at some point in time and space and wakes up in this body that is a mechanical werewolf looking killing machine. And inside, installed in an internal drive, is this virtual intelligence named Sally, who wants to she wants to be the one in control of the suit, and she's pissed as hell that the suit did not allow her to be the one to take the wheel, so to speak. And so she can't quite figure out what or who this guy is and why she can't be the one. But basically, that's kind of the crux of of the initial conflict, is he's trying desperately to deal with her and get her out of his head. But beyond that, there's we've got mafia intrigue that's going to take place in this issue, but definitely in issue number 2 and issue number 3. I'm planning out, it's a 3-issue arc.
Awesome.
And so it's 32 pages per issue. I'm going to try to keep it to that, but we're going to have it's a street level justice kind of story that I'm working on here. It's got elements of Ninja Turtles in that there are mutagenic situations that come up with other characters, and there's a villain that I won't reveal. I don't think he gets revealed until the 3rd issue. And I say it that way because it's one of those things, like I'm holding it close to my chest, but at the same time, I don't want to reveal too much too fast as I'm telling the story, right? Because it's these first 3 issues are it's definitely establishing relationships. So like Blade has has Whistler. If you're familiar with his story, Blade has his Whistler. Well, Chrome Dog will have his version of Whistler,
Nice.
and we we've been introduced to her in these first 10 pages, but we don't really know it yet. So that's really the only spoiler I'm going to give. But there's this guy, right? This guy that he's fighting, who has this strange. He kind of has this strange glowing pink energy that emanates from his eyes, and he's as Chrome Dog is given laid the smackdown on him. He's kind of like these crystals are starting to kind of like pierce through this rubberized suit that he seems to be wearing. So there's kind of like a theme in these books that things aren't always what they seem, and people may there's always there's something perhaps like not quite right about any given character at any given time. So and so what we're seeing here is Chrome Dog is he's got a day job as a mascot for this carnival or this amusement park, and so he managed to knock all of the pieces of his costume off, but there's a latch that's kind of stuck, and he doesn't have time to mess with it right now. We try to take it off, and it's really hung on there. So he's going with it, I guess, and so it's kind of a hilarious kind of thing. But it also kind of ties in on the last page. We see where Sarah wakes up, and she kind of looks at him, and she's able to identify him as Wally the Wolf, and not this horrific looking metal killing machine wolf face. You know what I mean? Like she can see, so it's kind of but yeah, I mean there's but
see that 6 a.m. comics.
Nice.
I got
nice.
6 a.m. to do a character for me. I'm gonna be
Dude, I love his adaptations, man.
Oh yeah,
really
for sure.
cool. very like 2D video game chibis.
Yeah, his initial version had he had green pants because I think that was one of the character design colors. Like I gave him like a bunch of different ones, and he kind of chose which one of he wanted to use. And so I was like, "Can we make them blue?" Because the green looked a little bit more like weaponized werewolf.
Yeah, like military. Yeah.
And the other thing is, I want to highlight that he's kind of a blue collar worker guy, and so he's always working odd jobs. And I'm one thing, and I don't know if I've really talked about this much, but there's one thing I'm going to strive to do is he has these pouches around his belt that I want him to utilize. So it's not just a hey, it's not just a Rob Liefeld.
It's not.
Not just a wink and a nod at that. Like I wanted to actually use the pouches, kind of like a utility belt in a way. Like there's going to be times where he's just like, but I do know he has a and unfortunately, I think the letters kind of obscure it. But on the first page, he likes to collect little trinkets that he finds. They're over there on the shelf, like these little robots and stuff. Yeah, little toys. He has a tendency to find old things, and he likes to collect them. There's also on page 2, we'll see there's a gumball machine he has down there.
Oh, nice.
There on the left. So he has this weird fascination with collecting things or whatnot. And what we see, like this is his Wayne Manor, if you will. So this being a maintenance shelter there in the amusement park, but there's another place that's pretty much like his bat cave kind of thing that is going to wind up being his base of operations. It's a junkyard, and so yeah.
Nice.
Right on, bro. Very cool. Nice. Yeah, and I think I mentioned this in my message, but dude, I really didn't know Luke Stone could draw like this.
Dude, Luke is a beast, man. Come on.
Yeah, I had no idea. This shit is incredible, man. Yeah.
Well, and I think something what Pedro said earlier is that as writers, I think we have the responsibility, especially in this indie space, to let artists be artists. It's like give them some rails, right? Just some guidelines, general guidelines, but just say, hey, do your thing, man, and don't try to hem them in and say, oh, that looks like this. It's like, no, just here, let's do this. Let's make something cool. And
I mean, like if it's something that will improve the storytelling, or like, hey, dude, like that what you're doing here might hit something we want to hit later. Like, that's all right. But the micromanaging and the things like, I don't know.
Right.
I was hearing an artist rant like 2 days ago about that, and I mean, it was funny to me because I don't have that relationship with Ginge. Like, it's all synergy here, baby. Like, we discuss everything, but it's not like I want you to do this or I'm gonna hunt you down and whatever. Like, it's just that it's not gonna work.
Yeah, and
so what I'm getting at is because I don't place those restrictive things on Luke, he's able to kind of like unleash his his creativity with it.
Yeah, awesome,
because I've seen some of his other stuff, and I that he's done for some other people, and I think a lot of that there may be some micromanaging that's going on that's kind of like hampering his ability to really like push it. So
also got Patrick Gama. Okay.
Yep.
The color is awesome.
And then Eric Weathers, of course, on letters. I decided to get
the letter man
on that. Absolutely. I had Luke initially, but I felt like he's got more than enough on his plate right now, so I figured.
Hey guys, so if you want a really nice letterer, Ginge Jr. over there too is doing letters too. He did the letters for Tropical Magic, so no, it's all right. That's how you get the word out, man. You got to talk about this thing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Dude, Eric does amazing work. He has work of his own now. I think Sport has been trademarked. Sport, yeah, that's an Eric Weathers word.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It was used way before him.
Yeah. Eric is obviously a really great letterer, and I mean, there's just no doubt about it. Yeah, you can look at the page and tell. But
Yeah, it looks amazing, man. And the lettering. It's what will make your book look professional. Like you can make amazing art, and if the letters are not on point, it's
Mhm.
gonna look like amateur hour, like school assignment. If your lettering,
That's
if
why
your,
I'm not doing the letters.
yeah, if your lettering
So
sucks, so yeah, pick a good one, guys.
let's segue here. Hop on the segue, gentlemen, and join
Sure.
Yeah,
me. There's
segue
room
train.
for two more. I'll
Mm.
scooch in, but no, let's
That's
let's
a big
talk
segue.
perks, bro. It is
Yeah,
a
let's
big
do
one.
it. Mhm.
So yeah, take it from the top here.
Okay. So with the perks, we got the work from home digital is $5, free shipping all over the world.
Hey, can argue
The
that.
the thing is with each one of these perks, I've decided to give it a theme of work. So you're gonna see different shift work
Oh,
and
nice.
whatnot as we go along. But yeah, this is the work from home. I figure this is it's a fun way to say, hey, here's a digital copy, just for $5. Rather than
Okay.
me say, hey, you want to buy me a cup of coffee? Hey, buy a comic. I mean,
Mhm.
Mm, yeah,
here's a free digital version of the or not free, but for $5.
yeah. For $5,
Yeah,
for five
Now
dollars, it's a free version.
I will say the free version is the first 10 pages, and you can
Yeah, there
click
you go.
on the campaign at two different places to get the PDF, or you can just read the comic on the campaign. So
we do have we definitely have pops dropping the links right now.
sure,
Awesome.
appreciate
Thank you,
that.
But
Pops.
yes, I also put in the description for those listening your Twitter, Justin. So and also
Sure,
that
yes,
link. Yeah, you. I think it was your pinned post that had the
yeah,
download for the
yes.
PDF. So
Yeah,
anybody
and
interested in that?
and of course we're also on Indiegogo, in demand currently.
All
I've
right.
stripped just about everything down from over there, so you can't get any Lepresti anything over there. You have to come to Fund My Comic if you want the Lepresti goodness from here on
Exactly.
out.
Hey,
It was
Louie.
it was early on, and the people got in where they could fit in, and now it's over for them. Now they got to come over here,
And
and other people need to come and find us on Fund My Comic to get Lepresti.
dude, I
Beautiful.
don't know. Mr.
Okay.
Lopresti doesn't like me.
Oh,
Yeah. No, this is
Don't worry, Pedro.
I only streamed with him once, and I kept calling him Mr. Lopresti, and it was an art channel, and I call art, and I call
Mhm.
Aaron, I call Mr. Lopresti, and it's like Pedro, call me Aaron. Like, okay, Mr. Lopresti, and I don't know, he got like that rubbed him the wrong
oh,
way. But what he
ah,
didn't know is that I had a teacher in school. His name was like Mr. Topisto, and Lopresti's too close to Mr. Topisto, so I was just
okay.
there. And
Well,
yeah,
Well, chances are he's forgotten about it. So
yeah, probably, yeah,
he so feel free
yeah.
to reach out to him because he won't remember it.
No, that was a funny day.
Who's this character he's fighting? Is this Savage Dragon or is this?
No, 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 no,
Nice,
no.
nice. So that's his name is Seether, and yeah, so he's kind of inspired by um, it. Well, believe it or not, he's inspired by Namor.
Mm.
And it was kind of like I was in that headspace when everything was going on with the Wakanda Forever, and them wanting to call him Namor. It was like
Namor.
Right.
Yeah.
no. To me, I'm like no more.
No
Because I'm
more.
done. I'm done with Marvel. No more.
Yeah.
And that's not Namor. It's like whatever you got going on here is not Namor. So no more. Um, but so what I did was he's an amphibious character who he has a power set that he can superheat. That's why he's got steam rising off of him here. But those concentric rings around him, that
Mhm.
kind of it's almost like armor plating, and below that is almost like his he's molten under there, and he can shift body heat around, and he can actually melt metal in short bursts.
So he's like
But
an
the only thing
underwater
is,
volcano.
pretty much, yeah. But
Nice.
he has to, he and he's also a shapeshifter, so he can shift into a human form,
Mm.
which causes quite a bit of jealousy from another character who he work with. Which, by the way, he's kind of like it's almost an unfair comparison, but in a way, it kind of works. It's like yeah. Bebop and Rocksteady, right? You
Okay.
got the two, these two goons working together,
Yeah.
But this is more like you know, I guess you could say the joke. Well, maybe not the Joker. I'm trying to think of another Batman. So like maybe Bane and Lex Luthor teaming
Hmm.
up, right?
Okay.
So like both are not idiots, but they both want their own thing, but they're teaming up for this, you know, to have
Mhm.
because they have to work for someone who's over them. I don't know. I don't even know if those would work.
Yeah, it's like a henchman, but the thing is like
Yeah,
that there's the
exactly.
henchman trope, but you have like the goofy duo of
Right.
henchmen, which
Well,
is
they're
awesome.
and they I think goofy things can happen between the
Yeah.
two, but most of the
Mhm.
time it's like they're both very serious and they don't want to work together, but they have to.
Yeah.
And so with Seether, you know, he's kind of, you know, he's been, you know, kind of sent to stop Chrome Dog because Chrome
Mm.
Dog is on this ferry to prevent a certain thing from occurring. And so here he is. They're kind of doing this throwdown here at this climactic scene at the end of the comic. So I
Alright.
felt, you know, I felt like, you know, as a variant, I thought, you know, I really want to show something completely different than what
Gotcha.
people are going to see in the first 10 pages
Mhm.
of the ash can, because I decided, you know, go big or go home. So I was like, because originally I was going to do just like a crowdfund for the ash can, but then I thought, why not just crowdfund the entire comic and then just make the ash can available for free for anyone to sample. So
Yes.
it's pretty
That
much
is
what
so
where
we
we're
gotta
at.
go big and go home and fuck it, we'll do it live. I'm loving the attitude here.
Yeah.
Totally. And we'll get Jim Ross to do the
Give us the narration, but
and Jerry the King Lawler, rest
yeah,
his
what is
soul.
it? She's a Jezebel. It's like,
I see puppies.
I
As long
see
as nobody
puppies.
Talks shit about Miss Elizabeth, we'll be
No,
fine.
ever. Yeah.
No, but this
Oh,
Lepresti
God.
piece, man. The more you look
Yeah.
at it, just the
Yeah.
more fucking badass it is.
Yeah,
This
dude.
is, and you made a great point about choosing this for a cover to sort of give people, you know, because I did have to ask, well, who's this? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's
Right.
And,
Halo.
yeah, it's
And there is a little bit of like, you know, and you said, like you said, Savage Dragon, there's a little bit of you know, Abomination in there, you know, the kind of
Yeah.
the ears. But
Right.
you know, this all just kind of came together with you know, Luke and I kind of last minute, hey, you know, I'm gonna let's do this before we send it over to Lepresti. Because like I had him imagined and everything, but we hadn't actually done the character design. And so, you know, we sat down and I'm like, well, I want his power set to be this, and so he's a natural, like he's natural swimmer, but he's got to have water. And right now he's in his element, so he's able to, you know, kind of take on this rain and use that energy
And put the
so
beat
that's
down
cool.
on Chrome Dog there.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys definitely captured a sort of hulky type vibes. And it's probably with
Yeah.
Aaron on the art too
Yeah.
with this piece. But I mean,
Yeah.
this is a really exciting piece. So
Yeah, dude. And dude, that's right on right in Aaron Lepresti's wheelhouse. I mean, he worked in World War the Hulk, so
exactly right.
Yeah.
Beautiful stuff. All right, guys,
Yeah,
and
this
you
is
can
awesome.
get this only on funmycomic.com.
Fund my comic, you get the
Yep.
Halo cover.
That's right.
That's it.
Get your Lopez on.
And it's a virgin cover too. There's no
Mm.
trade dress, so you get to see
Nice.
every line,
Okay.
every
Every line.
piece.
So how many pages is this again? I'm sorry.
32 pages.
32.
Yeah.
Very nice, brother.
It's a virgin cover.
32
Yeah.
story,
Take that
you know,
as
story pages.
Mhm.
You know, I
Awesome.
want to highlight that because
Yeah.
that's something growing up. Like I hated it whenever there were ads that would break up the story
Yeah, like
or
48 page
yeah,
giant
yeah.
animal. It's like
Yeah.
15 pages of ads. It's like
Well,
thank you.
and then a lot of times they would have like a 48 page, and then it'd be like, you know, 8 pages for this story, 8 pages for that story. You know, it's like, and it's
Yeah.
kind of no, but just
No.
give me a continuous. Let's do this thing. So,
Yes. Ads
bring
should
that.
just be saved to the back. I mean, it's almost
Yeah.
kind of ridiculous to think that the two mainstream
dude, but the
comic
thing is,
book
like,
giants put ads in the middle of their
I mean,
books.
Exactly.
And
I mean,
it's-
coming from the ad agency world, when I see ads in comics, I'm kind of happy because that means clients want to be featured in comic books.
Mm.
So in a way, it's like, dude, this is a healthy sign of a healthy industry.
I think
you're saying putting it at the back of the book
Yeah.
instead of the
Yeah.
center.
Yeah.
or front load them, you know, like like
Mhm.
bookend them or something,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
don't break up the action with
Not
the
in the
ad.
middle, like Superman is about to punch
And then there's a Snickers commercial or Snickers ad. That has worked on me before too.
Smiley pie.
Charleston Chew,
Yeah, Charleston Chew.
I didn't even know what the hell that was. I was like, "What is this?" It's an X-Men
Charles
ad
Atlas. Are you a pipsqueak?
Charleston Chew.
You remember that Charles Atlas?
Yeah.
That was freaking awesome, man. Are you a pipsqueak?
All right.
It's awesome, dude.
Yeah, very.
Save
very
all my
nice
bottle
stuff.
caps for that one.
Yeah,
but
I'll do some X-ray specs in the next issue. But
yeah, exactly.
So what do we got here?
All right. So the first you've skipped two of the one more. There it is. Okay. The first shift Luke Stone cover, that's the standard trade dress cover with Luke Stone's beautifully rendered cover there.
Mm-hmm.
$15 plus shipping, and I want to say stateside shipping is $10.
Mm-hmm.
So $25 nets you that comic here in the States.
All right.
Now I will say and I'll get to them as we go through them, but on these first few tiers, the international shipping is insane because I didn't get the lower international shipping until recently. So I've added some tiers for those people, those folks out there internationally. I've been thinking about you, and and so here we are. I'm gonna, and I'll show you exactly where we're at with those. But this one being the first shift is, again, it's the theme of work. So first shift, Luke Stone, boom, there it is.
Very nice. We did a themed thing with Tropical Magics too, by work related, because the main characters are handymen. So we're
okay,
sort of on similar wavelengths.
Oh, nice, love it.
There you go. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to throw us off track there. No,
that's cool. I like
just commiserating.
Yeah, that's cool. Great minds, right?
Yeah.
So this one's the second shift Aaron Lopresti cover. Of course, I said it's a virgin cover, so there's going to be no trade dress on it. Want to be able to showcase every line and every stitch on this one.
You can see every crevice on that virginity.
He colored this as well.
Yes, he did from start to finish. He did the whole kit caboodle.
Very cool.
Very cool. Yeah.
He and he was very gracious because he initially did it with Chrome Dog having red eyes, and I was like, "Can you make him yellow and also do those little lights above his on his forehead?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'll do yellow."
Very nice. Must have been sort of like walking on eggshells a little bit, asking. Not that he'd be rude.
Yeah.
It's just like
no.
I mean, right. Well, it was just that first, the first, hey, here's the first draft, so to speak. And I'm like, can you make this little change? That's it. That's all.
Justin, didn't you feel weird? Because I mean, when Art did the cover for us,
okay,
I was like, Pedro, so are you cool? Do you like it? I was like, yeah.
So I'm glad you asked. So when I entered this space and I started really, realizing that I was going to make a go of it, I just started conceptualizing and coming to this realization that every one of you, we're going to be potential colleagues of mine. Mm-hmm. And that everyone, every one of us puts on our pants one leg at a time. And so it's kind of one of those things. It's like, there's no reason why. I mean, the worst answer I would ever get is no, but you can't get a no if you don't ask the question. And so, after reading, reading and thoroughly enjoying Wraith of God and seeing all of the awesome stuff that Aaron does on Wednesdays, I kind of felt like, and I hadn't heard anyone, have anything done by Aaron Lopresti. I just thought I'll ask him, and sure enough, he said yes. I mean, so it was kind of like, okay. And I have his pencils, I have his inks, and I have his
dude.
So
wow.
But the only caveat is he has the original art, and so he's got that to look forward to increasing in value. So I look forward to the day when that happens.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, dude, that's as not to harp on it again, but that really is like as real of a comic book scene as you could ask for right there. Is these two characters going at it, just in this stylization. It's man, that's a hell of a
Well,
piece.
and one thing my son said was when he saw Chrome Dog in this way, he said he told me, he says he's way more expressive than I thought he could be.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, yeah. I mean, he's this, even though he's in this body, it has all like full range of motion. And I mean, he can, even though it's metal, and silicone, or silicates and everything else,
Mhm.
he can, his face has expressions. He can, manipulate his face anyway.
You can
So
emote.
it's,
Hey, aren't we stepping on Brian Priscow's time now?
Uh, we have the Pop said we're wrapping it up, but Pop
Rubbing it
said
out. Yeah, I just figured out like we're over. I don't want to cut this out, but I really don't want to like be a
Oh,
nuisance to Chris.
oh
no,
no.
Oh
Pop
no.
said we're good to go.
Christown goes on Mondays and Saturdays now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You're good.
Sweet.
You're good.
Sweet.
Okay. Cool.
Six gun gorilla, everybody.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Back it today.
Mhm.
We have
Big
Brian
gorilla
on a
with big
couple
guns
weeks
and
ago.
huge bullets.
Very nice. All right. Yeah, dude. This is again. We'll talk about this all day long, but yeah,
Yeah.
phase two really. Yeah,
Yeah.
I almost didn't even notice it until now. It's like
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
it's very expressive.
Yeah, you
There
can
you go.
definitely hear him go, "Arrgh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you."
Yeah, dude. Like it's very expressive. Like the acting is on point. The lines of action. Yeah, like you can see like where
Yeah.
the punches are coming from. So yeah, dude.
Well, the rain. I remember I was having a conversation with with Luke about it.
Mhm.
I said, hey, I was excited. I said, hey, LaPresi's going to do the cover. I said, I want it to be that, rain scene there at the end, at the, on the ferry. And he says, yeah, he says, make him do the rain. If that's what you want. He's like, make him earn it. I was like, okay.
Damn.
Right on. Yeah,
So,
I mean,
he
screw it.
didn't disappoint at all. I love it.
Very nice. Yeah, absolutely. Very
I mean,
cool, bro.
you look at this image long enough, you can hear the rain just pitter pattering, and and the waves. I mean, goodness, you can see over the edge. You can see the waves out there and the clouds and everything else. It's
Have you
crazy.
I don't know.
designed the book yet? Like the actual, like putting together the, not just the file, but like I see you've got the outside cover trade dress, but have you figured out like what you were going to do for an inside cover or anything like that?
So that's a good question. So of course we've in the PDF Ashcan, we've got on the inside front cover, on that one has like all the credits and whatnot. On the inside of the back cover, let's see, right now on the Ashcan is Clint Stoker's Downcast ad.
Mm.
But that's in the ash can, and then I've also got a hybrids ad in there for Luke.
I ask not to sort of put you on the spot in any sort of weird way, but I was just thinking one thing you might could do maybe with the printed version if you didn't include the pencils and the ink version of that cover, maybe on the Presti cover, like just on the inside cover have like the maybe the inks of that piece, might be nice. Might look good. Just came to mind, but
Okay.
yeah. Just throwing ideas out there.
Sure.
Don't mind me. Okay, guys.
No, I
Sorry
mean
about
that's no, that hey, that's the thing. Like I haven't really given too much thought as to like how many other pages I want to kind of add at the end that aren't story pages.
Mhm.
And so so yeah, it's definitely something that I've got on my mind. But yeah, that's a cool suggestion. I'll certainly, because I love black and white anyway. Like I'm a
Me too.
I love
That's what they call me and Pedro. Black and
Yeah.
white.
black and white.
Yeah.
Better than ebony and ivory, I guess.
Oh, dude, that song sucked.
I don't know. That might have been funner though. That might have been a little more fun. Oh I'll be Ebony. He'll be Ivory. We'll sort of do
that
the
will
modern
people.
race swap.
Yeah, I identify
Hey, it works
as
for
Ivory.
Ariel. I mean, you know.
Yeah,
Right.
I can identify as Ivory. How about that?
Nice.
Yeah.
Pedro, do you think you could play a sort of medium-sized ginger fella? When he's
It depends. Do I go full Irish or?
I
If
think
I go
so.
with the stereotype, just go like yada 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 yada.
All
Top of the morning
green,
to you.
and you have to tap dance everywhere.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Oh,
That might be a
man.
little bit insensitive.
All right. Well,
Just a
Well,
tad.
I'm just throwing ideas out here. I see how.
I mean, I'll do
That's
it. I'll
funny.
do it.
All right. So,
But all right. So
speaking of black and white, we've got
Yes.
the part-time black and white line art edition. So this is just the line art. It's not traditionally drawn. It is digital, but it is in the black and white with no lettering, so that folks can see all the brush strokes, pen strokes,
Very
and this
nice.
and that. Now I will say I probably should put it in the description on the campaign, but we've actually Luke and I have planned to do a double double page splash spread,
splash page.
right? The splash page double page spread
There you go. Yeah.
of a scene, and he's going to draw that traditionally
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
and ink it traditionally, and then we're going to add it to the campaign as a piece that people can buy.
Very cool.
And so because there's I've been inspired, if I can show this.
Certainly.
And I don't know how close to this it'll be. I love homages, but and I haven't talked about it yet, but Pitt
Exclusive.
Pitt is definitely a
dude.
yeah, so this is the little ash can that came in the Hero Illustrated back in the day.
Nice.
But yeah, there's I've been inspired by Pitt, and this
Well, if you're gonna be inspired by something, yeah.
So I like what he's doing here. He's jumping, he's leaping from place to place, and in the real comic, hold on just a second, let me try to.
Dude, Dale Keown. That's
yeah, dude. If you're gonna be inspired by Dale. That's right. That's a sure shot there.
I've got it.
Dude, the Hulk artists, something about being able to draw the Hulk, like I think they might be the best out of the CG.
Dude, that's the only thing
is the Hulk
I
guys.
regret of not working for the big two is that I would love to have a crack at the Hulk in my style. See what happens. It might suck. Who knows?
No.
But I always wondered, like, what would that like? What would that look like? You know, just
So that was an image that was scrapped from this issue, but this is the one that made it in right here. So he's going from building to building, and he's like leaping as he's having a conversation with this this consciousness. It's basically a guy who's kind of like in his own. It's like a soul, I guess, of this other alien that's like in there with him. And so as he's having this conversation, he's moving across the city, and that's I want to do that. I want to do that with Chrome Dog and have him. He's having a conversation with Sally on their way from place to place. And even though he's not Spider-Man, so he doesn't go flip, and does the whole web slinging thing. He can at least leap from building to building and show how live he is, as well as maybe even pulling some cats out of trees or helping people off of as he goes from place to place. But I also want to show different things in the city that's going on. Maybe perhaps there might be some background, like some drug deals that happen in the backgrounds that he's not really paying attention to, but the reader might see and possibly pick up on.
Just gonna be looking for characters snorting coke in the background.
Yeah.
Of the comics.
Well, I don't know if we're gonna go that far, but there's gonna be some shady dealings happening.
Yeah, so the guys put in their back to the panel, just like.
Yeah. I mean, stuff like that, because there is a certain drug culture that's going to feature prominently in issue number 2 and 3.
Oh,
so,
dude. Drug culture is the best culture. Yeah.
Well, but I say culture. That's definitely a wild goose chase. Me even saying that, it's not going to be what you think. But
no, yeah. I mean,
I got some things up my sleeve that people are going to be like, "What? What is that? Oh my gosh! I can't believe we did that!" Like,
you just sent my mind flying when you said drug culture. It's like,
well, let's just say that I'm very interested in what substances can do to the body, and how like mutagenic properties of like things can possibly transform a person, whether they know it or not, physically. And so I find that whole theme kind of interesting, and so that's
dude, have you heard of Clockwork Elves?
Clockwork Elves?
Yeah.
No.
It's basically this substance that the body produces called DMT.
Okay.
But people can synthesize this out of plants, and if you take enough DMT, this is you go to this realm of elves that will tell you that you suck, basically.
Hey, that absinthe does that. I think there's green fairy, that
exactly.
kind of shows up and is like, "Hey, you suck."
Or
it's a big green,
to me.
or it's a big green monster. You suck.
You suck. No, dude,
You hate
look it up. Like Joe Rogan is a big proponent of DMT usage, and they talk about the Clockwork elves there. And yeah, it's like it's bizarre because everybody sees them. It's not like a personal hallucination. Like a lot of people say that, yeah, I've seen the Clockwork elves. So I don't know that could be fuel for your stories because it's freaky.
Well, what if that trip brings the Clockwork Elves into this place?
Exactly.
That's the
thing. Like maybe you have a guy who already took something that mutated
right
his physiognomy. He takes the DMT and then he becomes the portal for this like Clockwork Elves come and it's like an invasion. Like shit, you all suck.
All right, so let's look at the tiers and back up a page, because we have what's known as pagination on Fund My Comic. I don't know if a lot of you folks know that, but we're able to paginate the different things.
Oh, nice.
And so I've got that enabled. So what we've got here is a Sector Saver A, which is the selected comic with international friendly shipping. Yes. So I've added these sector savers, and that's thematic to the world that Chrome Dog lives in, because there's it's not broken down into states. Everything's broken down into sectors because it's a completely different planet than Earth. Not to go too far on that tangent, but so I decided to name these extra tiers that I've added after that. And so this one is a new tier where people can just select one or the other, and then it gets the cheaper international shipping, because the other tiers you can't, the people have already backed them, so I can't do any changes to them at all. So I had to create a new tier and have this available. So there's a little drop down there for you to choose one or the other, and then go to checkout. And I want to say international shipping pretty much around the world is $15.
That's reasonable.
Yeah, I think Australia may still be like $20.
Yeah, but dude, that's like in another planet. So
well, I know, but I'm trying to be, I'm trying to be hospitable.
Yeah,
as hospitable as I can be.
Pretty awesome, yeah.
But for everybody internationally, because I know I like to have physical books.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome, and it's prohibitive, man.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like I know that there's some Comicsgate guys in Latin America. I don't know how many. Like I haven't done like a census, but we do have a system down here, and I've been like, I don't know, like that's a solution for guys abroad. Yeah. So basically, it's called, and now you're gonna laugh, about the name, but that's how they call it, a mailbox. So basically, you get your box in Miami, and then everybody will like buy stuff from Amazon or whatever, and they only come down to Panama when the container is full, and that lowers the prices like dramatically. So what would be like a $50 like shipping goes down to $5. Just have to wait like a little bit more because it will like basically build up in Miami. Get like other people who are not you, like it's your package with other people's packages there.
Yeah.
They fill the container, they bring it to Panama, and that way that's how I bring things down here. It's only like 4 days extra.
So instead of crowdfunding, it's crowd shipping.
Crowd shipping, yes.
Yeah, crowd shipping.
So, but I don't know if Australia has that. Like they can set up something in the West Coast, like something like that, and that will. But dude, that involves business and logistics. So I don't know if they have a service like that already.
I know I'm ambitious here, but I think once Chrome Dog hits, I might be able to get do something like what was it Ginge Lemons does and get regional printing and stuff like that in other countries and make it.
Yeah,
I mean I'm thinking bigger in that regard because I want to make I want Chrome Dog or Ringgold at large. I mean, the world that he lives in, I want it to be a household name like Ninja Turtles.
Awesome.
But
dude,
gotta start somewhere.
Yeah,
but
I mean, the thing is like, dude, this is in its infancy. We're not even like 5 years old. Like this whole like new indie movement. So, dude, the sky's the limit. Like, I think in 10 years we're gonna be in awe of the things that has happened if we just keep the stay the course.
That's it.
So let's just keep on working, man.
Stay the course, awesome. Keep the faith.
Yeah, keep the faith and keep on working.
Do the work.
Yeah, because nothing is free, and fuck it, do it live.
All right. Power through
it. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, this is the Sector Saver B. So this is both. So you can get both covers in one. So if you want to buy them both, and then you can save on shipping as well. Here's a tier for that. And I did this because we're still waiting for the shopping cart functionality for Fund My Comic to come about. Should be around any minute now. Literally, like I think today they're supposed to do a deployment of it on the website. So I don't know where we are with that, but yeah. But in the meantime, I created this Sector Saver B, both of the covers for your buying pleasure.
Nice.
He's muted. You're muted, Mr. Charleston Chew?
Oh, that's strange. I swear I didn't hit the button.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Charleston Chew.
How do you do? Charleston Chew.
Charleston Chew, yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
What's
yeah,
the next
awesome
tier?
though. Yeah. Okay, let's see what we got here, buddy.
All right, so this one. So this
wait.
That's fine. This is the Arrow Bundle 2.
Nice.
It features 6 Arrow comics, including Chrome Dog #1 plus the stretch goals. And so yeah, because I'm part of Arrow Comics, each one of us creators that are associated with the Arrow, we put these bundles on our campaigns. So it's kind of a way for us to scratch each other's back as we go along.
Yeah.
I like it.
So this one has the Fool, which is currently funding as well on Fund My Comic. That's Randy Zimmerman's his initial offering for the Fool #1.
Yeah, the IP,
but it also features the Soul Tack #1, which is the floppy version of the very first part of Craig White, aka Mad Ruth's Soul Tack, larger graphic novel. So he's actually breaking it down. And so all 6 comics for $40 plus shipping. So
yeah,
pretty good deal.
I completely agree. Really, I mean that's got to be over hundreds of pages of. Maybe 200 pages worth of stuff.
Yeah, because it's Fool #1, Hero Bot Zero #2, Revolt #2, which is an anthology in and of itself. So you've got several stories in that one. You've got Soul Tack #1 and then Hybrids #2. And then the one directly below this is going to be the Arrow Bundle #1, which is 8 comics for
Awesome.
$50.
Shit.
Oh, look at that.
And so it's got Hybrids 1, Sin Killer 1, Only Death Can Save Us #1,
Nice.
Herobot Zero #1, Paragon #1, Calico #1, the Revolt Anthology #1, and then Rift Riders, which I think Luke is doing fulfillment on Rift Riders. If he's not doing it now, it's very soon.
Sweet.
So,
Very cool.
so yeah, you get eight comics for $50 plus shipping.
That's a bargain right there.
It is.
Well, we're getting to the real bargain, which is going to be the Sector Saver C, but that won't be for a little while.
Okay.
All right.
Because first we've got the Midnight Shift pack.
There you go.
Hey-o.
So the Midnight Shift pack is the Lepresti Virgin cover plus a metal print that features that very same artwork.
Oh, very cool.
And it's the same size, so that so the packaging is the same. Everything, all these books are going to be shipped in Gemini mailers.
Nice.
So,
Are you shipping yourself or are you using a service?
So I'm going to be using the Justin Sweet, Luke Stone, and Randy Zimmerman service, where all three of us are going to converge up in Indiana, and we're just going to make a weekend of it and just do up all the packages and ship them from there.
Very cool.
So
That's the way to do it.
I've got a bunch of Gemini mailers that I'm gonna bring up and hand off to Luke, and then he's basically we've pretty much got a plan because he lives in Indiana, I live in Tennessee, and Randy lives up in Michigan, and so we're just going to converge at Luke's place in Indiana when it comes time to fulfill. Which, by the way, fulfillment I've got down for the end of October. I'm hoping, and I've only done that just so that we're not late. I'm hoping that we can get everything, because we have the Fool is still up in the air. It hasn't been produced yet. You've got the Soul Tack #1. That floppy issue hasn't been produced yet. Rift Riders is just now, coming back from the printers. So there's a lot of moving pieces, and so I just want to make sure that we have everything on hand to be able to fulfill. So
Absolutely.
So hopefully sooner rather than later.
But it definitely sounds like you guys got a plan, and between the three of you meeting up and definitely having a great time getting all that stuff taken care of. Fulfillment it's definitely me and my girlfriend did my first book, and it took probably 2 maybe 3 days of 6 hours each of just packaging stuff. And it's not that it was that much material, it was just it takes longer than you'd think, really. So having some extra hands is
well, and I've had experience with that. Of course, the experience that I had, it's my day job too. I work for an e-commerce company, and so we're a reseller. So fulfillment is what we do every day. But on a personal level, I was in a hobby where I was doing group buys on my own, completely different space. The crowdfunding way that I was doing would not fly over here because trust is a big deal. Over there, it was understood, but here it's different. So, but I had hundreds of orders that I had to fulfill, and they were little these little pieces that I'd put in mailers and whatever. I actually made my own mailers, so that was fun.
Very cool.
Anyway.
No, I'm looking forward to that too, though. Branding, I'm excited about the branding of my sort of shipping and handling goods. It's going to be fun just to build something for yourself and have your name on it. It's great. So yes, let's carry on.
Yeah.
We've got the Swing Shift. I like it.
Yes, the Swing Shift pack. Yep. So this one has, of course, the trade dress version, stone cover of Chrome Dog #1, and then it features the metal print of that same image, which I mean, to me this is what I'm looking most forward to, because I've wanted to see this image in metal since Edgar Tavidas colored it, because it showcases the 2 moons that go that orbit Ringgold. And it really establishes that this is not the planet Earth. This is a completely different world. you know, and you've got Lux and Proximo over there doing their thing. And I look forward to exploring some other heroes that might have powers that interact with those moons, and, you know, and also some other supernatural things that may be happening. So
Interesting.
stay tuned for some of that stuff in the future.
My nipples are hard, buddy. I don't know if that does anything for you, but
Oh my gosh.
carry on here. No, it is a really great piece, and those moons are definitely going to shine really great on a nice metal.
Yeah. Well, and originally I wanted a chromium cover, but, you know, back when I was still in the design space, you know, trying to get it all figured out and whatnot, Ethan Van Sciver was having so much trouble, you know, with his chromium cover. I was thinking, well, you know, do I really want to put myself through that in this first offering? So I feel like, you know, later on maybe I'll do a commemorative cover once I get to, you know, the trade after, you know, the first 3 issues are already in the bag, you know. So
yeah,
or in the bucket, they say.
Definitely recommend that first time, you know, just, you know, not to necessarily not do what you want to do, but just to sort of remember you can expand more on the next campaign.
Exactly.
It's just something I myself should have followed to some degree, but, you know, it is just, yeah, it's good to know how to do the process first before getting super crazy.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what do we got here? The double arrow bundle.
Yes. So this is the Sector Saver C, which I call it the Arrow Mega Bundle. So I take both bundles, put them together. So that's 14 comics.
Wow.
For one price at $90 plus shipping. And depending on whether or not you're international, I mean, it's, and I weighed it out. Like I want to say stateside is like $20 to ship anywhere in the US. And then I think it may be $30 to ship just about anywhere in the world. So all in one, just like boom. Plus you get the what do you call it? I always hiccup at this point. The stretch goals. It's always stretch goals. Like, what's that word? Stretch goals.
Wait, what? Stretch goal.
The elongated goals.
Yeah, I don't know. It always just like hits me. I'm like, what's the thing? Oh, stretch goals. So, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. Very nice bundle for a really great price, and also
dude, this is awesome. 14 bucks. Wow.
Thrilled to hear about the shipping prices too, because it's I know really been a huge hurdle for people. I've basically considered, you know, well, I've wanted to do international shipping, but it's pretty much until, you know, I'll have to investigate further here, seeing you've found some good prices, but it was pretty much off the table for I don't know how long, until the situation was basically figured out. But yeah, right on.
Yeah, it's a thing with pirate ship, which is what I use, and it's like a special thing. You pretty much, it's something you have to unlock with them. You have to like look it up in their FAQs or whatnot, and then you like reach out to them, like kind of like, I don't know, it's weird. It's like this little chat thing, and I don't know if you do anything with pirate ship, but they seem to be a really good shipper. Shipper.
A long
shipper.
A big shipper. My brain is broken.
Yeah.
Hey,
dude, it's communicating. It's working.
All right, we are coming up.
Stamps. I know stamps.com sucks, so hats off to anyone who tries to use them.
God bless your heart.
But,
yeah.
We could always use RJ from Critical Blast, who we recommend. He's also a fulfillment, one of the list providers on Fund My Comics. So
he certainly is.
He's the man. I hope the two of you guys, that you're the two companies, Fund My Comic and Critical Blast, I hope that they blow up. And I feel like with RJ's, just professionalism and skill, just he's done it so much and is always seems to.
Organized,
always seems to deliver. So
Well, if he, and if he ever needs any help, I guess I need to be talking to him. But if he blows up to the point where he can actually like hire somebody salaried, I'm all about it. It's like I'd love to,
Awesome.
I'd love to work
on.
full time doing this stuff, helping everybody in our
dude.
network versus what I do.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I mean, it's awesome that everybody's doing comics, but
Right.
the guys who got rich in the gold rush were not the guys who were seeking out for gold. We're the guys selling shovels and beans, and so
Yep.
there's opportunities all over this, but we just have to be like clever enough to just like isolate them and not exploit, because exploit sounds like death, but take advantage of the situation and just provide a service.
Opportunities.
Yeah, man. Yeah, exploit good opportunities.
Seize the opportunity. Yeah.
Do that.
Seize it. Take it
And
home.
Edwin Acevedo popping by.
Hey,
Buddy.
Edwin.
What's up, Edwin?
Hail.
Hail indeed.
He's got a solid looking book.
Oh yeah, dude.
Very
All right.
cool. Very
Edwin,
fun.
you're welcome on the show, man. Well, I'll reach out to you. We'll need some guests here coming up. Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Justin. I saw you popping in there.
So this is the all-nighter bundle, and this features all 3 variants of the comic book plus the 2 metal prints. And it was definitely it was an early on fan favorite whenever we launched on Bancroft's stream. So over on Indiegogo, but now you can't get it on Indiegogo. You're gonna have to come over here and get it with Fund My Comic. So come on over.
All right, I love it.
What are you waiting for? Ditch that Indiegogo. Come on over here to where the cool kids are.
Yeah, Indiegogo is the fat chick that doesn't like you.
Take your indies. Yeah, take your indies and go to fundmycomic.com.
Yes, sir.
There we go. Kickstart your way on over to Fund My Comic.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Edwin says his DMs are open. All right, gang. Very good.
Go away from Indiegogo. Come to Fund My Comic. Do it. Do it now.
Yeah. Okay, so so the all-nighter bundle is this $100 and we get the whole shebang, both covers, the black and white, and the 2 metal prints and the stretch goals.
Yep, all in one. Bam, there you go. Plus shipping.
Hot damn. Absolutely.
And
no.
And I did adjust the shipping. Was able to adjust the shipping because we've not had any backers over here on Fund My Comic yet, so I was able to kind of bring that down for international folks as well. So it's it's already kind of a built-in sector saver, if you will.
Very nice. I think communicating that to international backers will, just like on Twitter and everything, just getting, because that is sort of the preconception, right? That it's most of the times out of the question. At least that's just, maybe not out of the question, but I know a lot of UK guys, for example, and they're just, I hear and see them talk about the shipping issue. So maybe getting it out there would definitely help some of that too, just to start spreading the word. But dude, awesome project, Justin. Yeah. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, man.
Yeah, dude. Hey, before we go, I'm sharing my screen right now, so you can see what I'm talking about when I said cops.
We don't want to watch any more of your home movie porno, Pedro, but I'll give it
porn. It's not. I wish
not
it
this
was.
time. Not this time.
Not this time. But check this out, man. Dude, this is an awesome show in the 90s.
Central Organization of Police Specialists. Fighting crime in a future time. Protecting Empire City from Big Boss and his gang of crooks.
Oh, okay. I hear it now.
All right.
What the heck? I love it.
Dude, the character design is on point here, man.
Cop.
I would have these. I would have this
Crime-fighting
group of
time.
cops protecting my neighborhood any day of the week.
It's
Yeah, dude.
crime fighting time. I could
Yeah,
do that.
and that's the thing. Like, you see the character design, that's like extreme '90s animators letting go. Like, we have this toy. So yeah, dude, that's. I just wanted to show you guys that 'cause it was awesome.
I love
Yeah,
that.
buddy.
That is. I need to. Oh man, I gotta
Yeah.
watch. I gotta watch episodes of that stuff.
Yeah, dude, it's very episodic. It's not like a. It's not like Batman. Like then you get like long form stories like from
Yeah.
episode to episode. This is more
Right.
like episodic, like a.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
watching
nothing wrong with
TJ
that.
Hooker, for example.
Nice.
Mhm.
Watching TJ Hooker with a hooker.
Yeah, that's the only way to watch TJ Hooker. How did you do it,
Okay,
dude?
so
Like
a-
Heather
anywho.
Locklear was there, man.
I would watch TJ.
That look was so genuine too, Pedro.
Yeah.
How did you do it?
How you do it? Dude?
All
It's
right,
crime
boys. So
fight time. I can.
Yeah.
I can.
Hey.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, dude. No, you're gonna
This is
love
a
that
mess.
show, man.
no,
I
Nice.
don't know. You
Fast is
saw
too
Luke
cool.
Cage. I saw Shaft.
Yeah. The thing is that they took inspiration from Dragnet, basically.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
from then up, they started picking
Yeah.
from everywhere. And dude, it's just a mishmash. The story's like future tense, but it has like this 60s, 70s flavor to it. So, dude, it's an amazing show.
What's up, Neil?
What's up, Neo?
very nice. Right on.
So, yeah, dude.
Okay. Yeah,
Cops.
very
I
cool.
just popped in to play the commercials at the end of the show.
You're good.
It pops in.
Pops popping in. That's what he does.
Pedro knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Pedro knows.
Yeah.
He knows. What
Sometimes
I'm
we miss the ads here, Justin.
Yeah.
Pops here to-
It's the ads.
It's a pothead.
Okay, so we do want to thank you again, buddy, for joining us, and you're welcome back when you
Yeah,
have the
dude.
full project.
Anytime,
Or
man.
if you want to chat, just
Yeah.
come on
Well,
by.
I got one last thing to talk about.
Oh, do it.
Do it.
Do it.
So I've got these here.
Mhm.
So this is a campaign that's up on
Sorry.
Fund My Comic right now. It is the very first card game
Nice.
that we actually have listed on there.
Oh,
And
dude.
nice,
and if you want to buy one or buy for your family or whatever, get on there, back it. But whenever you check out, I will actually I can fulfill it. I've got several
Ship it right
copies
away?
of these games. I can ship it right away, and
Nice.
a portion of the proceeds goes to fund Chrome Dog. The other portion goes to the company that produces this, which is Dark Unicorn Games. I'm also the one who created that the campaign that is currently on Fund My Comic. So yeah, it's called Super Powered Smash Masters, and like I said, it's the only card game currently on there listed on Fund My
Awesome.
Comic, and it's
Beautiful.
also I think
What-
it's featured
what
as
bit
well,
again?
so you'll see it. It's a
I
lot
heard
of
you
fun.
talking about gaming earlier, Justin. I just want you to know on Fridays we have 3 different game streams that go on the network. Two of them are live. Roll 20 in the morning, Tomb of Annihilation. We have our own version of Fallout in a Roll 20 format.
Okay.
Sort of, a dice game for Fallout. Our own version of Fallout called Fallout Las Vegas. We do that at 10 o'clock at night on Friday. And then we show the Fellowship of the D20s live stream when they go live. We show that as well. A bunch of different stuff. Man. We love games. So, and we promote games and gaming just as much as comics if we can. You got a link to that, you drop it in the madness.
I did. I threw it in.
Just like for your book, bro.
Yeah, I threw it there in the private chat, just so you guys can,
Very cool.
But yeah, you back that. You back me too. So, but yeah, I wish I had the headspace to play role playing games right now. I just don't. I'm playing, I'm in the Dice Masters. And we play Marvel Crisis Protocol, which is a Marvel miniature game at work every Thursday night. We're playing, where I actually get paid to play games at work. How cool is that?
That is
It's
cool.
awesome.
But anyway,
Yeah, no, that is rad, and we are getting ready to end the show, but My first book was heavily D&D themed, basically like X-Men
Dude.
meets Saw meets D&D. So games were a lot of fun.
Superheroes, man.
Yeah, man.
Lots of fun.
Okay, gang. So yeah, Justin, thanks for popping by, buddy. We will be very respectfully, but hopefully with a comedic sort of sprinkle on top, be sort of booting you along now. So if you have anything to say before you leave,
It's like, go on, go away, bye bye.
Say something.
Your hands where I can see him, Ginge.
no, I'm trying to set him up for something, but no, we
no.
had this running gag where I was accidentally kicking the guests out while they were in the middle of talking. It was always an accident, but then it became a game to see how I should keep it
It
going.
was horrible.
Well, I could also go into talking about my mom.
Ah! God damn it, man! No, James, it's not cool,
All
man.
right.
It's not cool.
No, he's
That was
fine.
hard.
Bring him back.
He
Bring him
set
back.
me up for that. Come on.
Bring him
All
back.
right.
Bring him back.
He set me up for
Jesus
that, right?
Christ, man!
Not when he's talking about.
All right, he's fine.
Mom,
He's
dude.
fine. No. All right, gang.
Oh, you just wanted to check.
No, that's it.
No, he's
Yeah,
not.
no, that's the show. That's
Hey,
it.
hey, Pedro.
We're done.
Hey, Pedro.
What's that?
Watch this. I had to make sure at least one got in there just in case.
Yeah.
but-
Yeah, guys, thanks for watching. This was awesome, man. Just in case we back Chrome Dog, the book looks awesome. Really good. Like, dude, there's really good offers there.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
arrow bundles look amazing. So yeah.
Real
Yeah.
good looking.
Neostar
You
here
got some
pitching
little
some good
Presty. Man,
ideas.
go get some little Presty.
That one.
Some Halo action there.
Now here we
His
go.
friends call him Aaron.
Yeah.
All right,
James,
guys.
Ginge, I want
Yeah.
to apologize for calling you a pothead. I'm just
Yeah.
that was
That's true,
uncool.
though.
Yeah, I know.
It-
But
No, you're fine, buddy. No problem. I smoke. I've got weed right here.
yeah, there you go.
We own it.
Cool.
All right, though. No, I do have to feed my dogs, and my ass hurts, everybody. So we will
Oh,
catch you
wow.
on next week.
Okay,
Nothing weird.
yeah.
Just this
Oversharing.
chair is highly
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
gotcha.
My ass is only used to hour-long shows, so now I got
Never let them know you're hurting, Ginge.
You're right. I've looked weak now on the show. so
Yeah.
I'll scamper away, everybody. But no, do want to thank y'all. Next week we have a horror novelist, Kat Valeur.
Mm.
So we'll be chatting more spookiness. And
Yeah.
I don't recall who's after that, but we got more guests coming up. Edwin Acevedo soon. I'll be
We
popping
got
by.
guests and guests and guests and guests and guests.
Yep.
Yes.
We also got Tropical Magics on Fund My Comic right now.
Yes,
also
sir.
on Kickstarter. But go to the
Okay.
Fund My Comic.
Back
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
still on Kickstarter though. The book's obviously completely done. Second Chance campaign. Right
Mhm.
behind me here is the beautiful Art T. Bear cover, which
Still
which is
available
also
on my comic. Yep.
Mhm.
It's
Oh,
still
exclusively on Fund My Comic.
Yes,
So
sir.
yeah, guys. Okay, we will catch y'all next week though on the Ginge and Pedro
Yeah.
show. All right, pops.
Right.
Kick it.
Oh.
deceit. Pay us no attention, it's all conspiracy. We have satire and parody, some funny, some perverse. If none of it's offensive to you, you'd be the first.
Fairview's coffee has mysteriously gone missing. Mayhem ensues when strange, coffee-craving zombies plague the city. Detective Mickey Potatoes, an overworked public servant, uncovers why ordinary citizens are losing their minds and how to stop the coffee apocalypse. But it involves the mafia. And when you're dealing with mafia crime families, nothing is ever easy. The mafia controls everything in the city, including the police, including him. If he breaks the mafia, they will break him. So, the city is without coffee. The city is burning before his very eyes, but he's powerless. Detective Potatoes has the power to stop the coffee apocalypse, but if he does, he could lose everything.
War never changes. When atomic fire consumed the earth, those who survived did so in great underground holes. When they opened, their inhabitants set out across the ruins of the old world to build a new society.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month, we add more.
Visit cb4k.org.